Pesäpallo is a fast-moving bat and ball sport that is quite often referred to as the national sport of Finland and has some presence in other countries including Germany, Sweden, Switzerland, Australia, and Canada's northern Ontario. The game is similar to brännboll, rounders, and lapta, as well as baseball. Pesäpallo is a combination of traditional ball batting team games and North American baseball. Pesäpallo was invented by Lauri, Tahko, Pihkala in the 1920s. Pesäpallo has changed with the times and grown in popularity. The basic idea of Pesäpallo is, the offense tries to score by hitting the ball successfully and running through the bases, while the defense, as in baseball, tries to put the batter out. The most important difference between Pesäpallo and baseball is that the ball is pitched vertically, which makes hitting the ball, as well as controlling the power and direction of the hit, much easier. This gives the offensive game more variety, speed, and tactical aspects compared to baseball. The fielding team is forced to counter the batter's choices with defensive schemes and anticipation. Pesäpallo becomes a mental exercise. The manager has an important role in Pesäpallo, leading the offense by giving signals to the players using a multicolored fan. The defensive team play is directed by the manager's orders and hand signals by the fielders. Pesäpallo was a demonstration sport at the 1952 Summer Olympics, held in Helsinki, Finland. Rules: a regulation Pesäpallo game is played in 2 periods of 4 innings each. A period is won by the team which scores more runs in its offensive half innings. If the periods are tied, there will be an extra inning. If needed, there is a round where each team tries to bring a player home from the third base. During an inning, both teams take turns playing offense and defense. The defensive team has 9 players on the field. The offensive team can use 3 jokers during one half inning in addition to the 9 players in the regular batting order. The offensive team can continue batting until 3 players have been put out. One round of the batting order has been completed without at least 2 runs scored. The batter and the pitcher face each other in the home base, on opposite sides of the circular plate. The pitch is delivered by throwing the ball directly upwards above the plate, to a height of at least 1 meter over the head of the pitcher. The batter has 3 strikes available during the turn at bat. A fair hit does not require the batter to reach base. All 3 strikes can be used before the batter must reach first base. A pitch counts as a strike if the batter takes a swing at the ball or if the umpire rules the pitch legal. If the pitcher delivers a bad pitch, the batter is granted a walk to the first base only if the base is unoccupied. If there are runners on the field, the point runner is granted a walk to the next base from the second bad pitch. A pitch is ruled bad if the ball does not fall on the plate, if the pitch is not thrown high enough, or if the pitcher commits a violation. A hit is foul if the ball first touches the field outside of the boundaries. The batter of the runners cannot advance on a foul hit. If a fielder catches the ball before it reaches the ground, the hit is a catch, and all runners who tried to advance on the player caught. Players who have been caught are removed from the field, but they do not count as outs. The runner reaches safety on a base by touching the base area before the ball is thrown to a fielder in the base. If the ball gets to the base first, the runner is put out and removed from the field. The batter is also put out if the third strike is foul. A runner on a base is forced to advance if the next runner reaches safety on the same base. The offensive team scores a run when a runner returns safely to the home base after advancing through all 3 field bases. If a batter advances to the third base on the batted ball, it is a home run. He can then stay on the third base and try to score again as a regular runner by reaching the home base on a later play. Differences from baseball. The most significant differences from baseball are: the first bounce of the ball is decisive. It must bounce within the play area, and may then roll over a line and still be in play. The back line on the fly counts as a foul ball. The foul lines are also on the sides and the front of the field. So if a player aims high and hits a very hard hit that would be a certain home run in baseball, it is counted as a strike. Foul in Pesäpallo. This increases the tactical approach. All home runs, therefore, are the inside-the-park variety. Catching a ball in flight is not an out, but forces all runners advancing at the moment of the catch to attempt to reach the next base. If they succeed, they must return to home base with no further consequences. If they fail to reach the next base, they are out. Instead of a batter's box, the home plate serves as a pitching plate, which is round with a diameter of 0.6 meters. All other batting team players stand in a semicircle near the batter. Players generally have little difficulty hitting the ball, so the main target is not just hitting the ball, but selecting a suitable type of hit and directing it correctly. There are many different types of hits used. Here are a few examples. Snap hit, normally used for advancing fast runners between bases, aimed to avoid defensive players. Usually hit in such way that the ball takes a hard spin. Fly hit, an intentional high hit to be caught, often used to give way for faster runners. High drive, aimed to drop to the field between midfield and outfield with a top spin. Excellent for scoring. Bouncer, used for advancing fast runners, hit downwards very hard to be bounced right next to the front arc. Aimed towards the base runner is leaving, or to the center. Technically very hard to perform, used only by advanced players. A home run is scored if a batter advances to the third base on his own fair hit. After a home run, the runner will stay at third base and continue as a normal runner. Walking requires fewer invalid pitches. When the field is empty of runners, one invalid pitch grants a walk, otherwise two. After two invalid pitches, each such pitch grants another walk. A walk advances the point runner. If there is a runner at third base, the player shall score. A fair hit does not force the batter to advance. He can use all three strikes at bat before he becomes a runner. A pitch counts as a strike if the batter takes a swing at the ball or if the umpire rules the pitch legal. Force outs are always outs. If the runner is off the base and the ball is in the control of a defensive player at the next base, the runner is out. The bases are not laid in a diamond shape. The players have to zigzag the court. When entering a base of the home base, the runner only has to cross the line of the base. There are no actual cushion bases like in baseball. Only lines in the field showing each base's boundaries. Similarly, the pitcher of the fielders in the bases don't have any plates to touch to make an out, having only a foot in the base is enough. The attacking team uses a color-coded fan to signal the runners when to move. The fan is multicolored, held by the coach of the team. Color sequence is decided prior to the game. Players. The team playing the defensive half has 9 players in the field. The pitcher is positioned in the home base. A catcher plays in the infield on the side of the second base. Each of the 3 bases has its baseman and an additional 2 shortstops playing close to the second and third bases. 2 outfielders cover the outfield. Players can switch the places and position themselves to the field wherever they want. Different positioning is used in different situations when the defensive team can expect a certain type of hit. This is usually determined by the location of the offensive team's point runner. Special tactics could even be made against a certain batter. The team playing the offensive half has 9 batters and 3 additional batters known as jokers, whereas ordinary batters must bat in a pre-designated batting order. The joker batters are allowed to breach the batting order. Today, players usually have a specialized role in the batting order depending on their abilities. Fast runners are usually positioned first in the batting order, after which players who specialize in advancing runners between bases. Next comes a player specializing in scoring runners home. Players from 6 to 9 often form another attacking combination. The jokers are usually a selection of either batting jokers or runner jokers. Both teams have a pelanjotaja, a game leader, or more simply, a manager, the captain of the team. One of the players tries to beat the other team's captain in the hatunki ito draw of choice, which determines which team gets to choose whether it will want to start in the offensive or the defensive half. The manager is also akin to a coach, and he does not take part in the actual game. Equipment. Helmet. Each player is required to wear a helmet when playing in an offensive inning. If a player sets at bat without a helmet, an out can be marked for the team. Apart from the pitcher and the outfielders, fielders are required to wear helmets. Glove. The glove is used to ease catching the ball when playing the defensive inning. The glove used in Pesäpallo differs from the one used in baseball both in characteristics and in appearance, resembling more a hockey goalkeeper's glove. The glove is made of leather, although some manufacturers use different kinds of synthetic fibers on the back side. The inside of the glove is always made of thick leather, and the main differences between gloves lie in the amount and quality of padding, the thickness of the leather, the size of the glove, and its shaping. The ball is caught into the glove's cup between the thumb and the index finger. Sometimes, however, the ball hits the palm, and a properly designed glove can prevent injuries. Other devices to catch the ball are not allowed. Bat. The bat is a round, tapered cylinder. Previously, the bats used in Pesäpallo were made of wood. These were fairly brittle and did not last very long when used to hit such a heavy ball. Now, wooden bats are only used in children's games, and the bats used in adults' games are made of a mixture of glass fiber and carbon fiber. The biggest differences between bats lie in the weight, center of gravity, flexibility, and length. The maximum length of the bat is 100 centimeters. When using a children's ball, the maximum length of the bat is 90 centimeters. The weight of the bat is considered to be its most important property. A typical bat used in top competitions weighs between 580 grams and 620 grams. The heaviest bats weigh more than 650 grams, but these are only used by strong players like batting jokers. Junior players typically use bats that weigh less than 400 grams. The usual diameter for the bat's hitting point is 56 mm. Spikes. The use of spiked shoes, like in running, is not required to play Pesäpallo. However, they do help the player substantially in rapid situations, especially when playing on modern artificial grass fields, which are very slippery to ordinary sports shoes. The artificial turf differs from what is used in football fields. There are only a few manufacturers producing spikes designed for Pesäpallo, and many players use normal running spikes. Some shoes have also spikes at the heel, but mostly spikes are positioned under the ball of the foot. Usually there are 7 spikes in a shoe, and they're 3 to 15 mm long. When playing on artificial turf, the maximum length of spikes is 6 mm. Ball. The ball used in Pesäpallo is yellow and has a circumference of 21.60 to 22.20 centimeters. The weight of the ball varies by series. Men's ball 160 to 165 grams. Women's ball 135 to 140 grams. Junior ball 95 to 100 grams. Competing. The Finnish Championship Series is known as Super Pieces. Both men and women compete in their own series. A World Cup is played internationally every 3 years. In 2006, the fifth World Cup was played in Munich, Germany. Participant countries included Australia, Finland, Germany and Sweden. The sixth World Cup took place from July 8 to 11, 2009 in Pori, Finland, with teams from Australia, Finland, Germany, Sweden and Switzerland. The seventh World Cup, scheduled for October 8 to 13, 2012 on the Gold Coast of Australia. 3 teams were Australia, Finland and Team Europe. The 8th World Cup was played in Luzern, Switzerland.